Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch everything. Hey family, welcome to Sisters Who Watch.
I'm Shelby.
And I'm Laura, and we're sisters who watch everything. TV,
Yes.
movies, sports, music videos, and even concerts while sitting in overpriced nosebleeds. Yes, we love to watch.
We do.
And we love talking about it even more. Today we're watching
Concerts. Yes, that's right. The best live music of 2022. And before we dive into our top 5 concerts, let's talk about why we love music.
Yes, let's do it.
In a household of music lovers, our mom, our dad, our grandparents, uncle in particular, Uncle Reg, loves music. So we're surrounded by it. I remember growing up, we had Motown on all the time and something about soul music that just like really connects with you. So that's been an interest of ours from the jump.
100%. And like Shelby said, we grew up loving music, family always playing music. And also we both grew up singing. We were both in choir. Shocker. We were both in choir, a cappella. We did that all throughout middle school, high school, elementary. Crazy. We actually, in I think elementary school, we both separately sang at a Mets game, right?
Yeah, with the national anthem.
We sang the national anthem at a Mets game with our like choir or school choir, which was wild. And in high school for me, both of us, we actually traveled internationally with our a cappella groups, which was so fun. So music really does run in our blood. We've loved it for forever. And recently I've done like a little bit of songwriting.
Let them know, Laura. Let them know.
And I actually wrote my senior year of college. I was in a Beyonce class. There was literally a class on Beyonce.
Amazing.
And instead of doing a final paper, I decided to write a song inspired by Beyonce.
Yes.
And I shared it with my whole family. And I got an A+ on the assignment. And yeah, it was great. So
of course, we know you got that A+.
Yes, with the A+. So we love
and
music.
For y'all listening, it was a great song. Like Laura played it for us, and it was a bop. We were vibing.
It really was. Maybe I'll have to release it.
Yeah, girl. Yes, drop that single. We want to hear it.
So single coming soon. So yeah, we love music. Runs in our blood. It's great, and I feel like especially 2022 was the year of live events and live music.
Yes, concerts were back. I think during the pandemic, we were missing the interaction, right? The live events, whether it was going to a concert or to an amusement park, a sports game, people were itching for that. So the second things opened up, all these artists were going on tour again. So it was amazing to have that opportunity.
Yeah, so definitely for us and so many people, we were back. We were back at those live music events, and it was awesome. I went to over 15 concerts last year, which is wild.
A lot. More than the average person, that's for sure.
So,
but you're a music lover.
We love music. So let's first, before we get into our lists ranking our concerts, let's go back and talk about our first concerts.
Yes, crazy. I feel like it's always a fun question. Like, what's the first concert you've been to? Laura, do you want to kick us off? What was yours?
Yes, so mine is very random but pretty iconic. So in beginning of middle school, I'm pretty sure I was in 5th grade, which was wild. I saw Usher.
Usher as a 5th grader.
Yes.
Wild.
Usher Raymond. That's right. That's right.
The Usher.
Yeah. So it was in his prime. I think it was probably like 2010, maybe 2011. He was the guy back then. So my friend from school, we both loved Usher. We would sing his music all the time. And then she was like, I want to invite you to see Usher with me. And I was just so happy. And it was so much fun.
A good friend.
Yeah. a great friend. Get you friends that take you to Usher concerts. And it was amazing. It was at Madison Square Garden. It was like a sold out crowd. It was so fun. And plus, it was Usher's prime. So he sang every song. It was great. So
Wow.
fun. Yeah. How about you? What
Iconic.
was your first one?
I'm in awe that, a fifth grader saw Usher, but I
You
love
know.
that for you. I love that for you. So my first concert, I was not lucky enough to go to concerts in middle school, but my freshman year of high school, I saw Bruno Mars. It was
Oh,
so cool.
yes.
Yes, the one and only Bruno Mars. But this was before he was big. Like it was his first ever tour. He was doing doo-wops and hooligans. So the album that has like the Lazy song and um
Iconic.
yeah, like just a lot of iconic songs on there. And it was kind of like Sweet Bruno. Like he had all those ballads.
Yeah, before he went all like R&B and funky.
Yes,
Yeah.
before he was singing like Chunky and Versace on the floor.
Oh, yeah. Different
And he was
era.
singing Marry You. And but it was really, really good, really, really great concert. It was like standing room only, like a ballroom in New
Wow.
York City, and it was a blast. Went with some friends from high school, and it was honestly a highlight to not only see Bruno before he was huge, but like to have that as my first concert. It was so good. Like we knew every song, we were just like screaming, and it was such a fun time.
Yeah, I mean, we love Bruno. We loved him
Big
even
Bruno
back
fans.
then. He had great
Yes,
music
from
then,
the
and
beginning.
he's evolved so
Beginning.
much. So I know I remember when you went, and it just seemed like so much fun. I know when you saw him before he really blew up. OG,
Mm-hmm.
an OG
I'm an OG
concert.
fan.
I
I'm an
mean,
OG Bruno fan.
we had our first concerts very impressive.
Yeah,
Usher and
I
Bruno.
don't
It's
say so
good.
myself. We out here, making good
Yes.
choices.
Okay, and now let's talk about the last concert we saw before COVID, pre-pandemic, before concerts
Crazy.
really shut down. And we
Hmm.
actually saw this together.
We did. And another great concert. We saw Ariana Grande.
Hey.
Yes, we love Ari. We saw her at the Barclay Center in Brooklyn. I was working and living in New York City, and Laura came down from Ithaca literally for like
Hmm.
24 hours so we could see this concert. In the moment, we're like, this is a little intense to try and see this. It was like a school night, work night. Hindsight, so grateful we did, because who would have known, like this was I think November 2019, that months later concerts would be done.
Right.
So I'm glad we pushed through and went.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, so I was in college, but I took a bus down to New York City. I was in New York for less than 24 hours. Um and I remember this was when random the Popeyes chicken sandwich was really popular and I hadn't had it before. So literally I think right before the concert, yeah, we went to Shelby's
Yes.
apartment. I met you in like Midtown.
Yeah, because I was at work, so you met me in Midtown. You were
Yes,
at like a Dunkin'.
exactly. Yeah, and then before
Waiting
we
for
saw
me.
the concert, we went to Shelby's apartment in Harlem. We went to the Popeyes in Harlem on 125th.
Yes,
What's
125th and like St.
yes,
Nicholas.
yes, exactly. And then I was so happy. I was so excited to have the sandwich. And then, yeah, it was a perfect pregame to see Ariana
Perfect
Grande,
pregame before
Popeyes.
seeing
Yeah.
Ari.
And then we took the subway to Barclays. It was a great night. And it
It
was
was a great
also
night.
right before Christmas. So she sang her Christmas songs, which was
Yes.
awesome. Yeah,
Santa
that
tell
was
me.
exactly. Tell Me is Bop. So
A
that
bop.
was so fun. That was a great concert. So that was the last one
I
before the
know.
whole world turned upside down.
It
Yeah, so
was
that was great.
it was a great one to have. And that set us up well for 2022. Like we were
Yes.
ready. We had seen a great concert last, so we hit 2022 running.
That's right. Okay, that's perfect segue. Okay, so Shelby, give us your number 5.
Yes.
What was your fifth favorite concert that you saw this past year?
So, unlike Laura, I did not see 15 concerts, but I did see a good enough amount where I can have a top five. So, my top five concert of 2022 was Kendrick Lamar.
Hey, I mean,
Yes.
love it.
Great. I think it was actually, well, no, like I had seen Macklemore. I don't know if we want to count him as like a rapper, but I feel like Kendrick was like my first like real rap concert. So it was
Mhm.
really cool to see him. I went with my friend Priya, who's a really big fan. I wouldn't say I'm like the biggest Kendrick fan. Like there are other rappers I listen to more often, like Chance the Rapper or Drake, but I do like Kendrick. So it was cool to see him. And it was honestly such a vibe. Like everyone was just like vibing, having a good time. He had like it was just a cool environment. And
Mhm.
there were definitely celebrities there. I was sitting where I was sitting in the same row as Marseille Martin from
Wow.
Garnish. Sorry, not Garnish,
Mhm.
Blackish. And I saw like Russell Westbrook and Draymond Green. Like it was Kendrick brought out the stars. That's all I'll say. Like people in LA were ready to see him. So that was
Wow.
really cool to be around all those celebs and like the cool energy. But all it was just all around like a fun time. And even
Yeah.
though like I didn't know his newest album super well, I like made sure I prepared beforehand. So I was ready. I was ready to go.
I love that. Yeah, I remember you told me you were going, and I mean, Kendrick is one of the biggest rappers right now. So that's such a cool concert to go to. And like you said, celebs were all there. So that's awesome. That's a great pick. That's a great
Yes.
pick.
So
So
what's yours?
my number five is definitely a little bit different than yours.
Okay.
Um, so this is,
I'm
a
nervous.
wild left field pick, but it
Okay.
honestly, it was one of the most fun concert experiences I ever had. So for all you Nickelodeon fans, I saw Big Time
Oh my
Rush.
goodness.
Yes. Yes.
We are definitely going to have some fans that are excited about this.
Right. Yes. Okay. So Big Time Rush was my number five favorite concert of 2022.
Wow.
And so for y'all who don't know, Big Time Rush was a TV show on Nick. I think in between like 2008 or 2009 to like 2011. Like it was only a few years, but during that time
Small
frame.
window of time.
Yeah. And Shelby, Jason, and I, all of the siblings, we really enjoyed that show. We didn't watch the whole thing, but the first couple seasons I really enjoyed watching, and remember we all watched it together. It was just a really fun show. And they released music. It was a show about a boy band who moved to LA and released music together. And I remember loving them so much as a child. And then of course the show ended. I grew out the show, but I still would consistently, listen to their music every now and again. And I had so many friends in college who also really liked Big Time Rush. I
Mhm.
had one friend in particular who was a big fan, and she told me that they were going on tour. And I was like, Big Time Rush is back. They reunited after over 10 years. And she said, we
Crazy.
have to go. And I was like, yes, I'm going to go see Big Time Rush. And wow, it was wild. The demographic there, wild. I saw it in I think Hartford, Connecticut. Yeah, it was like very random. But
Okay.
yeah, I saw them in Connecticut and it was so fun. They were on stage for like 2.5 hours. Like they really gave you the
Love a
full
long concert.
experience. They were dancing, they came into the crowd, they were interacting with
Oh,
everyone, they got close to me and my group of friends. And a lot of the people there were, 20 somethings. It was a very wide range demographic, but they're also children, like kids. And I was thinking, you did not watch Big Time Rush, you were not alive. But it came out on Netflix over the pandemic. So all these kids are now watching it for the first time. So it
oh,
was really interesting to see
wow.
that. So there were like young, like kids, girls, boys there, but also people our age who grew up watching it, and everyone knew all the words to the song. So everyone was like screaming,
Crazy.
jumping, like knew all the words. It was so fun. And it just really brought me back to childhood. It was a great time. And they were just
Love
such a
nostalgia.
yes, it was so nostalgic. And they put on such a great show. So they're going on tour again this year. So if you want to see Big Time
I
Rush,
saw a notification that they're coming to LA,
oh,
but
oh,
I'm
get
not
your
rushing
tickets.
to see it. I'm not rushing to see it. but I love that for you. I mean, it
Yes.
was a fun show growing up, so I can imagine how it could be a fun concert.
It was amazing. So if you like Big Time Rush, think about going to see the concert. Could not recommend enough. It was a great time. Super fun. Super, super fun. Yeah, that's my number 5. Yeah, Big
Wow,
Time
we
Rush.
are
Get into
really
it.
starting off with polar opposite choices, but that's good.
Yes,
You can like Kendrick and Big Time Rush, right? It's
exactly.
nothing wrong with both. So, speaking of just having different tastes in music, my
Go for
number
it.
4,
Oh,
we're really showing how different we are. Like, we can like a lot of things.
hmm.
So, as you know, Laura, I love myself some gospel music.
Yes, you
Give me
do.
something like inspirational, encourage me. And I was really excited that Elevation Church was coming to LA doing Elevation Nights, where Pastor Stephen Furtick got to speak, and Elevation Worship came. So they came
Mm.
to LA last November, and I saw them with my friend Milani, and it was just such a great experience. So I was like, yes, Elevation Worship has to be my number 4.
Wow.
Yes. So again,
Yes.
we like Kendrick, but we also like Elevation.
Right. Balance.
Get you a girl that can do both, right? Listen to both.
Exactly.
Um, but Elevation Worship, they just have really great, like powerful songs. One in particular came out like right before the pandemic in March of 2020 called The Blessing.
Mm.
And every time I hear it, it's just so powerful and encouraging. And they sang that at the concert, and it really just stirred my entire soul. It was
Wow.
so great. And I think that's what's so special about gospel music. It really, the words mean something, the melody,
Yeah.
the message, like there's just a lot that just makes you feel really good. So I'm a fan of gospel music. Give me something inspirational to connect with. And Elevation was really great. And they had come all over the East Coast. So I was waiting. I was waiting for when they're going to come to the West Coast. And they finally came to LA. I saw them at the Kia Forum in Inglewood.
Wow. Well, I love that pick. I remember when you told me that you were seeing Elevation, how much you
Yes.
loved seeing them. And yeah, like you said, you both really enjoy gospel music. And yeah, we both love gospel because it's just so inspiring, uplifting. It just makes you feel really good and just
You
inspired.
need
So
it. Yes.
yeah,
And I
it,
remember I saw it on like a weeknight. Like it was like a Thursday where I was so tired, like after work, driving to Inglewood. And it was honestly the jolt I needed. It really was so inspiring, recharging.
mhm.
And I felt great to head into the weekend.
Awesome. That's a great pick. That's a really good pick. Um, uh, okay, so I gotta say my number 4.
Yes, I want to hear it.
Okay, so another kind of random left field one. But this past summer, so now that I'm living in the Bay Area, there's so many different venues and concerts, and and they're not too expensive. So I went to a lot of random kind of cheaper concerts,
Mm-hmm.
which have been great. And one of them I went to pretty last minute. I saw Train, like the band Train. Yeah. And they're like a Bay Area based band. So it was like a hometown concert.
Hey, Soul Sister
Yes,
team. It's
exactly.
them, right? Yeah.
So yeah, if you don't know Train, yeah, they're kind of like a rock pop band, and they sang like "Hey Soul Sister," "Drive By." Those are two of their big songs. They have a song
Classics.
called "Save Me San Francisco" that I've really loved since moving here. Yeah, they're
Oh,
from the Bay, so it was so fun, and it was just such a great enjoyable experience. It was outside. It was in Mountain View and Mountain View Amphitheater, and we just had blankets and we were just sitting, and I was with like a group of friends, and we're just dancing and singing along. It was just so
wow.
fun. It felt like we said with Big Time Rush, it was so nostalgic. And we all knew all the words, their biggest hits, and they ended with Drops of Jupiter, their classic,
Oh, that's a good song.
their
I do
classic,
know that
Tell
one.
Me song. And that moment was just so amazing. Basically, everyone was standing up, everyone was like holding each other, like swaying side to side. Everyone knew all
Wow.
the words. that was one of my favorite like finale concert songs ever because everyone knew all the words. It was just so uplifting. It felt like karaoke. It was amazing. I really did enjoy that concert. And it was just so fun. Like I just loved the vibe there. And I remember I paid maybe $30 to go, which also,
Stop.
makes it better, sweetens the pot. So
Even
my number
better.
4 is Train. It was so fun. I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. It was a great time.
Ooh, I love that for you. It does sound, I mean, when you have a surprising concert that like punches above its weight or
Right.
surprises you beyond your expectations, that's always really good.
Exactly. Okay, get into your number 3. Let's
Okay,
go.
we're moving along. Well, speaking of surprising concerts, my number 3 is Katy Perry's residency in Vegas.
Okay,
Yes.
yes.
So Laura and I went to Vegas on like a last minute trip last fall. Kind of needed like a little break, get away. And we'd never been to Vegas before. Well, you had never been. I had been for a work trip, but I didn't really count it. And we were looking for things to do and saw that Katy Perry had a residency. And I don't know about y'all, but we grew up listening to Katy Perry. And I know the words to so many of her songs. I mean, the Teenage Dream era, forget about it. Like, I know all the lyrics. Like, she was our middle school, elementary school. Like, that was the time. Like, high school, like, she just was the singer.
She was the
And
it girl.
she was the it girl. Beginning with I Kissed a Girl, I mean, she just
Iconic.
iconic. And speaking of I Kissed a Girl, like she actually performed that song on a soap opera our mom watches, The Young and the Restless.
Oh yeah.
So our mom knew about Katy Perry before almost anyone else because of that.
Wow, what an OG, literally. And another fun fact about our mom, she watches Love and Hip Hop every now and again. And when Cardi B got famous, and I was like, Mom, Bodak Yellow, have you heard of this? It's Cardi B. She was like, I love Cardi B. Of course I know her. Love and Hip Hop. Of course, I love Cardi B.
Classic.
So, she's in it. She gets pop culture.
She
She's ahead of her
knows.
time. Yeah,
Yes, our
100%.
mom will surprise you.
Yes,
She's
on
on it.
trend.
Yes, she's on the trends. But yes, Katy Perry. I went in not really knowing what to expect, but it honestly blew me away. It was called Play, like that was the name of her residency at the Resorts World in Vegas. And it was honestly one of the best concerts I've ever went to. It's on third on my list because we also went to such good like it's
I
hard to narrow
know.
it down, but in any other year, it probably would have been number 1. It
Yeah.
was such a good concert. It was so creative the way that it felt like a real show. Like it wasn't just a concert, it felt like I was watching a theater performance or
Yeah.
movie. Like the storyline was so good and she sounded great, she looked great. I mean, she sang our favorite songs. That's my
Everything.
critique for some artists, they don't sing their bangers. Katy Perry sang her bangers, from Dark Horse to Roar to Firework, Teenage Dream to I Kissed a Girl. I mean, it was like a playlist of her greatest hits. It was just so fun. It was like a big karaoke session.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I loved that concert. Yeah, we went together and like you said, it was truly just an over the top Vegas performance. It was so much more than a concert. It was incredible. I second everything you said. I loved it.
It was so good.
So good.
Love Katy Perry. I don't think her residency is still going on, but if it is, I recommend going if you can. She was
Right. Or
great.
if she comes back, because we saw her when she came back, because she did a residency, left, and then came back. So yeah, if she comes back to Vegas, highly recommend. Okay, great pick. Great pick.
Thanks,
So
girl.
my
what's
number
number
3.
3?
Okay. So as I mentioned, I now live in the Bay Area and a really big music festival, kind of like San Francisco's version of I guess Coachella and Gov Ball, stuff like that. It's called Outside Lands. And it was this past July, I think end of July, beginning of August. And I went and it was so fun. I loved it. So that's my number 3, Outside Lands.
Okay, so a
And
festival.
I'd been to Gov Ball in New York City once before. That
Mhm.
was my first festival. I think that was my I've been to two, but that was really fun. There I saw Khalid, I saw Mine, Eminem. I remember Billie
Ooh.
Eilish was there. I'd never heard of her, but now, she's huge. Um, but yeah, Gov Ball was super fun. And I really enjoyed Outside Lands. I only went one day. There's like a 3-day ticket, but I only got one day. Um, because SZA was the headliner on Friday. So I went Friday because I love SZA. I love R&B music, and her style of music really connects with me. I love her. Um, this was before her new album, but I love Control. That's one of my favorite albums. So she played
Yes,
all the
great
hits
album.
off of that. It was just such a great time. So Outside Lands, I also saw Lil Uzi Vert, who
Ooh.
I actually saw. He was at Gov Ball the year I went. So, but Lil Uzi was great, and then he was on right before SZA. So the group I was in, we just moved straight to the front. So
What a
we were.
vibe.
What also made it great was we were literally in maybe the fourth row. We were
Wow.
so close to the front. We saw SZA, like we saw her face, we saw the dancers, so that made the experience so much better. This could be higher, but I will say the only thing about music festivals like that, we were so smushed in the front.
Mm,
And that was definitely the closest I'd ever been in a concert. And I don't know if I can do it again because it
yeah,
was crazy the amount of people. And we like literally couldn't move at certain points. We're just being
crazy.
tossed with the crowd, moving side to side. But it was definitely worth it. But stay hydrated if you go to these festivals because it got really hot, really packed, and people are definitely getting overheated and stuff. But
Wow.
it was great. I loved it. She sang all the hits. Everyone knew all the words. I knew all the words. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Highly recommend. SZA's great. If you haven't seen her, go see her. She's on tour right now. Go support. Yeah.
Yes, we love SZA. Big fans. Okay, girl. So I'm next again
Yes.
with my
Number
number two
two,
pick. We're getting down to the
getting
top of
down
the
to it.
top. Ooh, so again, so hard to make a decision, but my number two concert of 2022 is Lizzo.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Yes.
So if y'all have listened to our other pod, 2022 was like our year of Lizzo. We watched her documentary Love Lizzo. We watched her reality show, Watch Out for the Big Girls, and we saw her in concert. And we bought Yitty apparel. I mean, just
Yes.
a Lizzo year. And her
Mm-hmm.
concert was so good. We saw it like the weekend before Thanksgiving in LA at the Kia Forum in Inglewood. A theme. I've seen a lot of concerts there.
Yes.
And she was just so great. First of all, I loved outside of the concert, they had little like snippets of her songs out. So we took photos in front of like lyrics from Juice, and we took photos in front of all her different songs. So that was really cool to set the stage and the environment. And then Lotto opened for Lizzo. So that was really cool to hear Lotto. I didn't know too many of her songs, but she's a vibe. Like she's
Right.
fun. She brought
And
the
big energy. That's all
energy.
you need to know. Like that was
Literally.
the song of
That's the
last
song.
year. Yeah.
So it was cool to see her. And Lizzo just had such an amazing evening. It really blew me away. Her music, her singing, her flute playing, her big girl dancers and the numbers, like the energy. And something I really like about Lizzo is just how uplifting she is. And
Yeah.
to be in that room with such a diverse group of people, all like singing to her songs that are just about supporting each other, loving yourself, lifting people up. It was really powerful.
So
And I had such a
powerful.
fun time. We lost our voices.
Yeah. Within like
And
the first couple songs.
but it was amazing. I loved it. I thought the Lizzo experience, highly recommend. I think she's going to go back out on tour, so it would
Yeah. I think she's in
definitely
Europe
be,
right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
would
On tour.
definitely see her if you can. It was a
Yeah.
highlight.
Could not agree more. One of the best concerts I've been to. So fun. Yeah. She's just such an inspiration. I look up to her. So it was such a great time. Yes. Okay, so my number
Yes, you're
two.
number two.
Okay, so Shelby already talked about this, but my number two is the Katy Perry concert. Yes.
Okay,
Her Vegas
yes.
residency. Yeah,
Some
like
similarities finally.
I know. So kind of like what Shelby said, it truly was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. Just the stage production, it was so Vegas, it was over the top. So it basically was like if exactly, it felt like theater. It had there was a storyline throughout the whole show. There were videos. So in
Yes.
like animation, so it was like Katy Perry was a doll, and then the doll went through a journey on video throughout the entire performance. And the songs that she would sing would correlate to the storyline. So
And it
it
was
was
so well
really,
executed.
really well executed, so creative. And she really just took us on a journey. And again, it was just so fun because we all knew the words. She played all the hits. And similarly, she's just like really, so positive. Her messaging is uplifting. She's just fun. So I love the
So
Katy Perry
fun.
concert. She's such a great performer and it was just very nostalgic. I guess my theme is kind of nostalgia, which is
That's what it's
interesting.
giving. That's
That's
what
what
it's
it's
giving.
giving. And I think that makes for great
Nothing wrong with that.
concerts, right?
Yes.
When you know the words, like that's, you always want to go to concerts and just belt out along with the singer.
Literally.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Completely agree.
Highly recommend. Okay, so now before we do our number ones, we're going to say our an honorable mention and a dishonorable mention. So a
Yes.
concert that didn't make our top five, but we enjoyed, and one that was a low light of the past year.
Yes. So my honorable mention, a little surprising, little left field. It was when I actually went to the Hollywood Bowl last year
Mm,
to see West Side Story live. So it
wow.
basically was they showed West Side Story, the new Steven Spielberg movie, with the live orchestra playing. So it was so cool. It
Wow.
felt like theater and a movie combined. And for those of you that don't know, the Hollywood Bowl is like an outdoor like concert experience in LA. And so we were sitting outside with like blankets. You could bring in food and wine. And it was so cool to watch the movie and have the actual orchestra play the score and the songs. Like it was amazing. And I had never
Wow.
experienced anything like it. So I didn't make my top five, but definitely a highlight from last year.
Awesome. I remember you told me about that. That's really cool. We gotta go so I can
Yes,
experience Hollywood Bowl.
it's an
Awesome.
institution.
So I went to so many different concerts this past year. As I said, I went to over 15. So it's really hard narrowing this down. So I'm gonna kind of cheat and give a couple honorable mentions. Um, so one
Cheating.
that I saw in SF that's similar to Katy Perry it really was a story that I really enjoyed from start to finish, more than just concert. So I saw Lil Nas X in San Francisco, and he was really, really good. I love his unique perspective in music. No one is doing anything like Lil Nas X. I think I really connected with him because he blew up on the scene as a Black gay country singer, and I just like loved how unique he was and how unapologetically him he is. So I went with a bunch of friends, and he played all the songs, all the hits. So fun. Everyone knew all the words. And also, he's known for having just amazing backup dancers. So, and they all had individual moments to like break it down, give it to us, and they gave. And they also played Beyonce, like Renaissance
Wow.
during the concert, and everyone lost their minds. It was a really, really fun experience. It wasn't my top five because it was standing room and it was like really packed. So I,
Mm-hmm.
even as a taller person, struggled to see everything,
Wow.
but it was really fun. I knew like every single song he played. It was a great time. And then a little shout out. At our college, they have concerts come in, and one of them was Flo Milli. Do you know who Flo Milli is?
Oh, I think you have mentioned this person before, but
Yeah.
I don't know much about them.
Yeah, Flo Milli. So she's like an up and coming rapper, and she's blowing up more and more these days. So,
Mm.
but yeah, she's young, and her songs are really good. She has a song called My Attitude. And yeah, she has really great music, and her concert was so fun. I didn't really know many of her songs, but in preparation, I listened to a bunch, and it was just a really, really fun experience. And then at the
Ooh.
end, she came into the crowd and was taking selfies. So I got a selfie with Flo Milli. Yes.
Wow. I didn't know
So
that. That's so cool.
yeah, it was so fun. So check out Flo Milli. She has great rap, great beats, up and coming. I mean, yeah, I would still say she's up and coming, but she's great. Highly recommend Flo Milli. And if she's in concert, go see her. It was super fun, super interactive with the audience.
Ooh.
Yes. Okay.
Love that. A deep cut.
Deep
So now
cut.
we got to do the dishonorable mentions. Mine won't be too long since I already spoke about this one
Yeah.
before in
Make it
our
quick.
worst content of 2022. Not to belabor the point, but out of all the concerts I saw, the weekend was by far the worst. The experience getting to Santa Clara and Levi Stadium wasn't great. He didn't
Yeah.
sing my favorite songs. I'm not gonna talk anymore about it, but I'm sorry, the weekend. You didn't cut it. Did not cut it.
Yeah, we were expecting a lot and he didn't, play all the things we wanted him to play.
Yeah, I mean,
So
he didn't make your list yet, so that's
no,
fine.
the weekend did not crack the top five because I went to
Ooh,
so many amazing concerts. I enjoyed it, but it was not in my top five, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm not mad at your dishonorable mention. Mine is, it was this past year's slope day, at our college. So Shelby and I went to the same school. And every year at the end of the semester, they have a concert called Slope Day. And this year, it was the first Slope Day since 2019. So my
big
freshman
deal.
year, Stevie Aoki came and it was really fun. But this year, Amine came, who I actually had seen before. Amine is a rapper. He sings the song Caroline that a lot of people know. Um, but yeah, he's not like super mainstream, but he performed for our school and it was quite disappointing, especially since I had seen him
Yikes.
before at Gov Ball in New York City and I really enjoyed him. So it wasn't great. He was on stage for like 30 minutes. His energy wasn't that high and plus Slope Day is so highly anticipated that yeah, it was really disappointing. It was the first one in 3 years, so a lot of us were really
Wow.
excited.
You'd high expectations.
Exactly. And the opener was like a duo called Loud Luxury who
I have
do
no idea who you're
electronic
talking about.
music. They do the song Body and they were eh. Yeah, it was not great. It was not great.
Yikes. Well,
Yikes, indeed.
let's move on from that.
Yeah.
No talk about negativity. On to the best of the best.
On to number 1, baby. Okay, Shelby, give it
Yes.
to us.
I know the moment you've all been waiting for. My number one concert of 2022 was Maverick City Music and Kirk Franklin.
Oh, hey.
It was tough because there's so many great concerts. Like I mentioned, Lizzo and Katy Perry were very close to this. Like if I had to do a top
Mm-hmm.
three, it would be all of these. But Maverick City Music and Kirk Franklin just were amazing. It was maybe the longest concert I've ever been to, like 3.5, 4 hours.
Wow.
And you might think that's a lot, but it was just so powerful. For those of you that don't know, Maverick City Music and Kirk Franklin are gospel artists. Another theme for me. Love gospel music. And Maverick City Music, they're a group of, I would say, young, diverse gospel artists that came to be in 2020, so the last few years. And they're known for being, I'd say, more inclusive than the typical artist.
Mm.
And it's mostly like brown and black people. They recorded an album at a prison, like they're focused in social justice, like what they focus on is something I really care about. And I think we need more of that. Like you can be a Christian, but also like care about social justice. Like that doesn't have to be mutually exclusive, you know?
Yeah.
So I really like what they stand for. And they just have bomb music. And they really got popular during the pandemic. Again, I think people needed that inspiration, they needed
Totally.
that connection. So I think it was perfect timing for them. And it's almost like a collective of artists. So they have different artists feature and they have such great music. And because I've been listening to them all throughout the pandemic, the second I had a chance to see them, I was like, sign me up, I'm ready. And then Kirk Franklin is, I would say, a more known gospel artist. He's been around since the 90s.
Yeah, probably one of the biggest names in gospel.
Yeah, so you've probably heard of him. And he is known for, I'd say, more kind of like funky, modern gospel music. Like he's done gospel rap, a song like Stomp. He's done really like upbeat and uplifting, fast paced songs like Brighter Day. Like he is known, I'd say, for more contemporary gospel music. And I am a big fan. Like almost every year, I feel like my Spotify Wrapped probably has like a
Oh
Kirk
yeah.
Franklin song. Like it's he's always going to be on there. And the fact that I got to see them together, unreal. So
Awesome.
basically, Kirk Franklin and Maverick City Music partnered and collaborated on an album together to try and bring like the new school and old school of gospel music together. And it was really fruitful because their album crushed. They won a Grammy this past year, which is
Yeah.
huge. And they've been performing on award shows, news shows, morning shows. Like they are really booming. And I love to see it. And their concert was amazing. I'd say the mashups they did of like the Kirk and Maverick City songs were great. And I just left feeling so inspired. Like
Mhm.
honestly, I think that's what probably put it over the top. Just the message of singing songs like Smile and Brighter Day and Kingdom and Bless Me. Like that meant so much to me. And I'm just really grateful for music like that because when you're feeling down, sometimes you want to hear and sing to smile. Like we need more of that. So it was above and beyond the best concert I went to last year. Probably one of the best concerts I've ever been to in my life.
Wow. Yeah, I remember when you went and you told me about it. You said it was just such a transformative experience
Amazing.
and so uplifting, so joyful. Yeah, I definitely, if they ever, do a concert again, we should definitely go. It sounds so fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I know we both love Kirk Franklin and yeah, I know you loved it so much. So worthy of the number
Right.
one spot for sure.
Yes.
Yes. And my number one, I guess similarly, a concert I just left feeling so inspired. My number one is the Lizzo concert, Lizzo and Lotto.
I knew
Yes.
it.
Yes, that's my number one because kind of like what Shelby was saying before, I seconded everything she said about the Lizzo concert. She's just so inspiring. I just love everything Lizzo stands for. I remember when she first came onto the scene, I first heard the song Good as Hell years ago, way before it got popular. I think I was maybe beginning of high school before she really
Mm,
got big. I remember hearing that song and loving it.
you're an
And
OG
then
fan.
yes, I am an OG fan. And that song was just so uplifting, so empowering. And that's Lizzo's whole message. And as we saw in the Love Lizzo documentary, she really just wants to inspire and uplift people like us. She's a confident Black woman, doesn't care what people think, wants to uplift all kinds of people. And she did exactly that through her concert. I knew all the words to most of the songs. And I remember when she opened with The Sign from her most recent album. And then
Great
she
song.
had To Be Loved from the first album. And then the third song was Soulmate, which is from Cause I Love You. And I love all three of those songs. I remember getting emotional when she first came out because I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. Like this
Unreal.
big Black woman on the stage doing her thing, basically a sold out crowd, like singing with all these backup dancers who look like me. I just remember getting really emotional and just being overwhelmed because of how
Mm,
powerful that moment was. So I just I'd never experienced any concert like that. And I'm just so grateful that we got to experience it. Yeah, it was amazing. It
Yes.
was so amazing.
Yeah, I already talked about it, but I know I'm just thinking back, and it was just amazing to see, like you said, to see her do what she does. It's
Mm-hmm.
very inspiring, and
Super inspiring. And I
I'm
know one of your
grateful for
favorites,
her.
and one of your favorite songs is About Damn Time. You're obsessed with that
Girl,
song.
don't even. I listen to it at least once a week. Um,
Yeah,
it's great.
it's so good.
Love that song. When
Yeah,
it
I
came out
just,
last year, I was hooked immediately when I saw the
mhm,
music video. And I don't really watch music videos. It was like, wow, what a great music video. Like, I just,
right?
when she sang that song of a concert, I freaked out.
Yeah, that was her finale song. We were going crazy. I feel like so there's a point where she played like Juice, Truth Hurts, Good as Hell, and like all in a row.
Too
We were
good.
just like our voices were shot
Too
immediately.
good.
Yeah, so good, so good. Yeah, she just has so many messages. I love her. The concert was amazing.
We need more artists like Lizzo.
I know we really do. Wow, great list,
I know.
Shelby.
Yes. And I love, I mean, not surprised, but I love that we're aligned on Lizzo and Katy Perry.
Oh yeah,
I mean, such good concerts.
amazing. They were really, really incredible shows. And now, okay, so we gave you our top five of the past year. But now let's talk about, what we're watching, what we're excited and looking forward to in regards to live music this upcoming year, 2023.
Yes. So I don't think, at least I'll be seeing as many concerts as I did last year. Who knows? Maybe Laura will see 15 again. But I know we're both going to see Renaissance, of
Yes.
course, and are super pumped for that one.
Yes. So if you listen to our, I think, second episode, we talked
Yes.
about our most highly anticipated uh
Content.
content of 2023, and Renaissance was my number one. So we're super excited to see Beyonce's Renaissance tour. And yeah, I know so many people who are seeing her. It's going to be amazing. So that's definitely one of
Very
the
excited.
most excited concerts I'm excited to see this year. And Shelby, you have another confirmed concert that you're going to.
Yes. I will be seeing Torrin Wells, who is another gospel artist. That's definitely confirmed. I was actually supposed to see him last year, but they moved the concert from like November to April.
Oh,
Crazy. I know. So I'm seeing that later this year. And then there's another gospel concert that's happening in June in LA that I'll probably want to go to. It has like Tasha Cobbs Leonard, one of my favorite gospel artists, and Naomi Rain, who's a part of Maverick City Music. They'll be performing, so I'll probably get tickets to that one, but haven't confirmed quite yet. But I know I gotta get my gospel intake somehow. I need that inspo.
yes. Great picks. I'm excited for you to see them.
Yes,
And in my list, I mentioned Outside Lands 2022.
did.
And Outside Lands 2023 lineup recently dropped. And I'm very excited for this lineup. Headliners include Kendrick Lamar, who Shelby's already seen,
Yes.
Megan the Stallion, who I
Oh, would
absolutely
love to see
love.
Meg.
Oh my gosh, we both love her. So she's headlining, and Janelle Monáe also is headlining. And I really like Janelle's music as well. So they have, and that those are
Sounds
just three
fun.
people. So they have a really, really great lineup this year. So I mean, just to see Meg, like it's kind of
I
like
would
how I
just want to see
went,
Meg.
yeah. Because last time I just went to see SZA. Like I just want to go to see Megan the Stallion. Honestly, Kendrick would be awesome too, but Megan the Stallion. So
Literally.
definitely we'll probably be going to that.
I know. It's
So
my birthday weekend, so we might need to make a
yeah,
trip.
sounds like a good plan to me. Great way to celebrate your birthday.
Yes. And
Yes.
then another concert that's on our radar is Drake. Drake is going on tour this year.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to see him years ago with our brother. Remember we were talking about
Mm-hmm.
trying to see Drake? We did not make it happen. So I think this could be the time for a sibling concert trip seeing
Yeah.
Drake.
I think it would be really fun. The only thing, as we've talked about, Drake comes out with so much music. How is he comes out with literally 2 albums every year. So how is he going to condense all of that? And
That
I'm
is
pretty
fair.
sure the concert is with 21 Savage as well. So it's gonna be like Drake plus
Mm,
21 Savage. So how
that's
the
a good
concert's not gonna be
point.
10 hours long. How are they gonna do all this
That's a
music?
good
So that's
point.
my concerned about the Drake concert, but regardless, it would be really fun. And as Shelby mentioned, her first concert was Bruno Mars, and she
Yeah.
loved it. And Bruno
Loved.
is one of my favorite artists. Our mom also loves Bruno, and he's currently doing a residency in Vegas.
Oh, it's probably amazing.
I know it's probably unbelievable. So we're also thinking about going to see him in Vegas. So that's something definitely on our
Yes.
radar.
I
We
need to
love
make that
Bruno.
happen.
And since you saw him, Bruno has changed so much.
Yeah, think
My
about that. I
goodness.
think I saw him in like 2010.
I know he's come out, he's basically transformed as an artist since then.
Crazy. I can't even.
Yeah, and I just love his Silk Sonic era, the era he's in right now. For seeing Bruno would be so awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, and the last thing, in our what to watch segment, and SZA is currently on tour. I mean,
Yes,
I
our
saw
girl.
her at Outside Lands last year, and I was basically right in the front, so I had the best SZA experience. So I'm currently not going to see her, but I have a lot of friends who are seeing her who absolutely love the show. So that's definitely on my radar and should be on everyone's radar. If you haven't seen SZA, go get tickets. She's awesome.
Oh, I know. She was in LA and I wanted to go, but the tickets were like Beyonce money. No offense to SZA, but like I was
Yeah, we
not
already
trying to
spent
spend
Beyonce
what I
money.
paid for Renaissance on SZA. So
Yeah, very fair,
I
very
couldn't make
fair.
it happen. Hopefully
Yeah,
she'll go on tour again or perform at like a festival like you saw her and I can see her there because I'm a fan.
exactly. Yeah. So those are concerts for this year that are on our radar.
Yes.
So go get your
Get your
tickets. Yes.
tickets, people.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for so much for listening. This was such a fun
Yeah.
episode.
So fun. We love music. We love concerts.
Yes, we love music so much. We love live music even more. So we hope you enjoyed it. Leave us a review if you enjoyed this episode.
Comment, leave us a review, rate us. We want to hear
Yes,
from y'all.
it makes a big difference. So we appreciate your support. Thank you for listening, showing the love. It doesn't go unnoticed. Well, thank you so much for listening.
Thanks,
And look out for the
y'all.
next episode coming on Sunday.
Yes, talk to y'all soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.